Due to COVID, I've spent more quality time with my wife in the last week than I have over the last 3 years combined. Due to the crazy work culture of our world, and my wife and I being forced to work opposite shifts, we would see each other maybe 1 day a week for maybe 6 months of the year, and then not get to spend any time together at all for the remaining 6 months. Basically, kiss goodnight and good morning as we pass each other by. My wife doesn't have any paid time off, which makes vacationing impossible. We just got married last year and hardly spent any time together. We are honestly the happiest we've been in a while due to the time we get to spend each other now. I cook nice dinners for us every day like I used to when we worked the same shift. We have more sex, of course, and we laugh much more often together. I'm on salary and considered essential, so I was still working until this week. But I opted to stop working and go on EL for the first time in my life since my wife was already off work for a week. It sucks that it took a damn pandemic for us to be able to get some time together, but man, oh man, am I happy this virus came around. That's a little selfish, but I guess it's good for your marriage, and for your case, I'm glad this happened. For most other cases, this sucks. What's going on, Moderchodes? It's your boy Long Neil, back again with another new video, and in today's video, we're going over the hot post from r/confessions. Let's get into it. I'm an upper middle class soccer mom, and I do meth every day. You'd never know it. I don't tweak, and I go to bed every night. I actually use it to function like a normal person. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with narcolepsy, and when I'm unmedicated, I literally can't sleep longer than 2 hours or stay awake longer than 2 hours at a time. Even worse than that, I have frequent sleep paralysis, which is more annoying than anything, and tactile, emotional, and auditory hypnogenic hallucinations. They can range from really cool to annoying to terrifying, and my sleep quality and quality of life is unbearable unmedicated. When I was DX'd, I was under the care of really good doctor and on Adderall. I can't use the other medications used to treat narcolepsy because of side effects. Unfortunately, this doctor suddenly moved out of the country and I had to go find a new one. Because of the ridiculously stringent legal oversight on controlled substances, none of them wanted to treat me without repeating all my tests, which I did. Unfortunately, at this point, there was a really annoying catch-22 medical situation with my diagnosis and treatment. I had already gone 4 months with no medication. I have a family, a house. I was desperate to function. I began to get very depressed, felt worthless. At one point, I had heard that the methamphetamine is actually available via prescription to treat narcolepsy. So I finally said, F it, to the medical establishment and turned to the streets. I educated myself on the substance, and so it began. It was at one point so much easier than dealing with the doctors. I'm very careful with how I get it, and I can stay awake all day and sleep most of the night. Until recently, I only took it orally, just like medication. I was never concerned about addiction because what the heck is my life without anyway? It's not like I'd be living like a normal life without a stimulant. I have stopped for days to weeks to months on occasion for tolerance breaks, but you have no idea how it is not to be able to sleep or stay awake normally. I can't live like that. I've never been concerned about it or felt like I needed to stop. But the problem with not having medical oversight is that there is no oversight of the drug, and the quality of what's available on the streets has gotten progressively poorer. I started only using it orally in capsules, but because of the cut, I'm afraid to just swallow it, so I started smoking it in a pipe because you can tell a little more about what you're dealing with. I'm sick of hassle and risk involved in obtaining it, the money I spend, and all just get subpar stuff. I would love at this point to just be done with it. But even if I could find a doctor who would write me a prescription, it would require a seriously drawn out taper and probably a break just to get me to the point where a prescription would be effective. Up until now, I felt like I had too much going on. But now with the world events being what they are, I guess it's the time to stop. I really dread the crappy sleep. I don't know which is worse, waking up every 2 hours or not being able to stay awake for more than 2 hours. When you add them together, life becomes unbearable. But I'm getting to the age that I know I can't keep this stuff up forever. Oh man, this sucks, and this is a definitely deep confession because this happens to a lot of people. A lot of people need medication and they can't get it because the doctors won't prescribe it or whatever, and so they have to turn to the streets to get their drugs, and they either die because the drugs are not clean and it's laced with something else or whatever, or they get hooked on the drug that was originally just for medication and now they're a junkie. It's kind of a catch-22 and it sucks because what else are you gonna do, man? I stole out of the lost and found in middle school. I lived in rural southern Ohio for a year when I was 14. I was borderline homeless. All I had were a hoodie, 3 pairs of dress pants, and 2 shirts that were beyond stretched. I had no school supplies, nor money to get them as my mother was battling alcoholism, my sister left, and my brother was emotionally and mentally unavailable. A girl I had classes with had this cute crosshatch stitch pea coat. She wore it maybe twice. She took it off during PE, and I guess never got it back. A few weeks later, I was very cold. My sister's hoodie wasn't cutting it anymore because it was at least 11 years old. Me and another girl went to the lost and found, and I saw the beautiful coat, clean and lonely. I grabbed it and stuffed it into my plastic bag. I walked out of the school doors that day with a brand new coat. I'd wear it every day. I'd wear it to school, take it off at my locker so she wouldn't see it. I left that school 3 months later and moved to Las Vegas. And even now that I'm 21, and as I type this, I'm wearing it. It's not as bright and vibrant pink as it was back then, but it's the perfect thing for spring and early fall. I'm sorry, Hannah. I stole your coat. Oh, it's actually really just sad that this kid didn't have any clothing, so he had to steal something in order to stay warm. People not having basic necessities really drives them to do things that they would rather not do. And that's when it sucks. Set a farmer's field on fire. It asked for a witness in newspaper. So I was stoned in the middle of a summer with my young love at the age of 16. This huge moth kept following us and ended up on my young love's hood and kept creeping us out. He decided to light a lighter next to it to scare it away. The dry grass caught fire and we both were wearing sandals so we couldn't stamp it out. We ran off. We heard about 3 fire engines go into the fire. A few days later, it's in the local newspaper asking for witnesses. Always felt bad about it but it's a bittersweet memory since my childhood sweetheart passed away in 2014. Oh, that's crazy, man. Kids are so dumb. Yeah, I'm just gonna light a match right in the middle of the thing and expect it to not catch fire. And by the way, you could have stamped it out with your sandals on. That's plenty protection. Alright, Modern Chodes, that's it for the hot post from r/confessions. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And share this video with your friends. Till next time, peace.